are those moments I don't think anybody else is going to forget.
Hello and welcome to IEM Beijing 2019 Greater China Open Qualifiers. You're joined by myself, Jevons, and my co-caster, Chris, as we check out these two teams, WnV and Invictus Gaming, to see who will secure one of the two spots into the closed qualifiers. Chris, how are you doing?
Good man, good man. We've just been waiting for the game to start. There was a few problems with just getting onto Mirage, but luckily those problems were quickly fixed by the good old ESCA staff, and we're finally getting ready to get on the way. This is going to be a very interesting game tonight, though. I mean, obviously for people who don't really watch either Asia or China in general, these teams, they're definitely new to UI, but the orgs have obviously been around for a long time. So WnV, obviously you'll remember those in the 1.6 and Source days, if you were around then, and then Invictus Gaming, I mean, Dota, League, whatever other esport you can name, they've been around the block a fair few times. Have a couple of good teams as well. Not too sure about CSGO roster at the moment, but I suppose we'll find out over the next 2 to 3 hours.
Yes, absolutely, and this is going to be the first map of a best of 3 series, so first one is going to be Mirage. We're going to be moving over to Vertigo after that, and if we make it to it, Dust 2 will be the third in the series to wrap things up. So we're going to be kicking it off with, well, Invictus's pick here on Mirage. So we should expect something, well, fairly strong showing out of them this time around. Vertigo, I think, is going to be the really interesting one, however.
Yeah, I think we're both safe in saying that we haven't seen either of these teams on Vertigo, and in general in Asia, from what I've been seeing, you don't really see Vertigo that often, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. But in saying that, that's what best of 3 is for, and especially when you've got a spot on the line to the closed qualify, and if you somehow make it through there and through teams like Tyloo and those sorts of guys, I mean, anything can happen as we are underway here on Mirage. It looks like it will be a B execute to set things up for Invictus. It's going to be very interesting how WnV approaches, because they've only got one player on site. That is White 7. He's quickly retreated and he's about to get flanked from all different angles. So Bomb quickly goes on to the side. You do see Dim being taken down. For him, as Koska will be taken down as well. Both Russians on the IG roster have gone 6 feet under, and just like that, they're actually being wiped. This is not looking too good here for IG. It's all up to Jason King, but he'll be quickly taken down as WnV take out the first round.
Yeah, and that was fairly impressive from them. They did not really break under pressure at all. The retake was just very calm and collected. They didn't necessarily waste any time. They just knew exactly how to check those corners. They made sure that everybody was looking exactly where they were supposed to as well, and that's how they were effectively able to clean up there. Invictus did take a bit of damage on the way in, though, which softened them up a little bit, but overall I think it's a good sign, although it's early days, second round, and we have some, we have a couple of hefty buys, 2 AKs, and of course that's going to be to try and stop, well, it's going to be to try and stop WnV's fairly significant buy as well, although Vixie's going down in a main there. That's going to pretty much give away a bit of the game to say that Invictus have those AKs, and they've invested a bit, and, well, Flying's did himself in a M4 as well, so Invictus only getting more strong. Good pick there from Fala. Koshak will, however, get taken out in return for that. Jing not able to withstand the trades from Jinx there, and WnV being slowly picked apart here.
Oh, they're just really taken down, Jigs, because Invictus, look at that, they actually keep all the AKs up as well. That is very, very important to their economy, as they do pick up the second round, so good buy here. WnV, no other choice really to save, and we're going to go straight into a pause here. I presume this would be a tactical at this point. Obviously, you get the full 30-second times out, so you can just take your time, figure out what you need to improve on, and go from there, but yeah, that was very strong for Invictus in the first. They now go into 4 AKs along with the Scalpel of Vladimir, and it'll be interesting to see what they do in the third. Oh, and saying that, should easily win this against Pistol, surely.
Well, that's a full save as well. That's nothing but USPs. Not even a measly decoy purchase there. So yeah, this is very much a throwaway round. WnV aren't even necessarily actually looking to stack up either, so I don't think they're looking to get too much from this, especially with Kami trying to contest mid. Again, with just the USP, almost gets nade stacked and killed. This is, yeah, this is pretty much just going to be a by-the-books round for Invictus, I think.
Yeah, and as they start to fall, don't let put it really, I mean, they should be all easy picks. Koshak is the only player really in danger right now on 32 HP. He can get one-tapped just with the USP, but yeah, pretty easy round for Invictus. Obviously against the Eco, you can't really do too much against, well, you can't do too much to stop it, but yeah, it's going to be an easy round for Invictus, and they're going to go to the 1.
Yeah, I mean, even if Seeking manages to take an AK away here, which he should be killed off here, yeah, he will be, that's not really going to mean much to Invictus. They lose the AK for 1 round, they can easily rebuy it, and even still, WnV have another, I'd say a bit of a half-buy round here, perhaps Pistol's Armor, maybe SMG or Heavy, something, but Invictus shouldn't be worried whatsoever, even if they lose it. In fact, Vadim's having a bit of fun and playing around with the scouts, so this is, I guess, a good sign from them. They're feeling confident. They just want to sort of work through this map and have a bit of fun whilst doing it.
Definitely seems like it here. That scout has been up since round 2, effectively, as we do see 1 kill there for White X. Koshak will be able to get the trade, but he gets traded immediately. Vladimir with the Glock, able to take down... Excuse me. I'm actually not sure how you pronounce that name. That's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Kimmy, I suppose? As we do see Tringovo able to find Chalfa. And a bit of damage onto his teammate, as Vladimir, last man left standing here on Invictus. This round has just been turned on his head. I mean, he's only got a scout. He can one-tap XC here, but yeah, this is not looking too good for Invictus. They might just get ecoed.
Yeah, I mean, when you looked at that second round, it almost looked like WnV just had a bit of a lucky first round win against Invictus. They pretty much just did to Invictus what Invictus did to them with less. They had pistols, I think it was a couple of CZs, maybe Desert Eagle, not too much, and look at everything they've done here. That's 4 deaths. I mean, Invictus will be able to buy it next time, but Vadim, he's got the scout, and he's going to have to pretty much justify why he went for a little bit of a perhaps meme purchase, but will he actually catch out?
Oh, nice.
That is a good way to start, and yeah, Jing's very far away, so this can give Vadim all the time he needs to actually set up this post plant. The flash is going to have actually given Jing away there. Oh.
That is sharp.
Yep, that is very well done. Very calm and collected, and I guess if you're WnV, that's gonna be... I mean, as far as egos go, it's pretty good, but you can't help but feel perhaps a little bit disappointed about that towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, 2v1, you had the AKs up. You probably would have wanted the win there just to tie things up, but fortunately for WnV, doesn't work out for them here. let him just a bit too strong, and now Invictus goes for the fast push on towards the Bing side here. We do see Sean King just finding himself a nice little double with the Krieg. Ladham has been able to find his comrade though, so into a 4v3, 4v2, make that a 4v1. He is just taking him all out there from get right, and yeah, this is not looking too good for Flying. He is stuck in the corner, and he can't really get out from it. As he will just make his way on towards apartments. It should be an easy takedown here for the AWP, and we should be seeing WnV heading on to 2.
Yep, and they're getting themselves a few extra pickups there. I believe Kami just picked up the AWP, which is good. Seeking, he's 4 kills. They might just want to give him the ace, I guess. But maybe not. Jing keeping an eye on apartments. Will they give Seeking the shot?
No.
Nah. Kami is not going to let that happen, and that's fair enough. You don't need to necessarily risk too much, especially with the CT economy being a little bit weaker. But Invictus, that is not the start they wanted for their map pick.
Yeah, I mean, probably not the best of ways to be going right now. I mean, you still have the lead, but you have been forced to buy for the past few rounds. Your economy is now currently in the toilet, so yeah, it's not looking too good for the T side right now. IG really need to get a win on the board in its next round, or WnV should be able to take the lead within the next few moments. Speaking of the leads, WnV would definitely have the lead in utility there for U2, with Jing already using most of his up, only left with the flash, and that will be gone as well. As Genius King is able to find himself a nice little double, although Koshak will be taken down in retaliation over towards Con. So it's going to be very slow around here from Invictus. They're not really sure what they want to do, but it looks like eventually they will decide to head over towards, I believe, the B site. We do see a bit of util being thrown over onto way though. Probably a flash as the bomb heads into apartments. Shalfa able to find one. Can he get the second as well? No, runs out of bullets. Easy shot for Vic in there. But the bait has been sown. The bomb is down the B side, and this is not too good for WnV as they are now in a 2v3 retake. It looks like they are going to save.
Yeah, perhaps the best decision they could make at this point, because you keep that AWP alive, that is going to be king going into the next round. If you can get at least a couple of kills of that, then yeah, it's a lot of value. And whether Invictus want to actually go for the hunt in this case as well is another question, because as you're saying, their economy is not doing too flash either, so there's a bit to risk, and I think they're cautiously pushing out, but I think it's more just them exiting from the site. That's more about it. In fact, hopefully Flying gets away from it in time. He's going to cop a little bit of damage, but yep, as far as WnV is concerned, this is pretty much best case scenario. You can perhaps buy for one of your teammates there if you're Whitex there. In fact, he's going to drop the AK, which is mighty generous of him. Drop something across. Perhaps an SMG. And yeah, so WnV actually come out of that pretty good, all things considered. They've still got the firepower they need to actually hold on. They've made a few concessions, perhaps a couple of defuse kits dropped there, but otherwise the utility is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely have a strong util here. That only 2 kits is off WnV, as it looks like it's going to be a somewhat faster push on towards the A site here for IG. Where you already do see Flying making his way into Tetris. Shooting an easy kill for him there. Still in a very aggressive spot, and will eventually be taken down by Gladden, actually, with the AWP Shalfa, though. Already onto the side. He's snuck his way through. He's able to find a double, but will be eventually taken down by Sean King. Bomb will be planted into a 3v2. Whitex only has an MP9. He's able to find one. Almost finds a second, but Koshak able to eventually kill him with the AK. And now Sean King, he's actually in a relatively decent spot. Both players on middling to low health here for IG, although they are playing quite passively here. Beijing King will spot out the player. Sean King will be taken down. IG push out to 5.
Yeah, excellent flash there from I was actually fairly far back in A main for the T side there, so yeah, that was a clean way to finish off the round for Invictus Gaming. They continue their lead. As for WnV, they're back to pistols, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for them, considering what that was like last time, a few rounds back. But Invictus, they have to be wary of it now. They can't necessarily just rush into mid, although as I say that, they've already taken short. In fact, Koshak here, he's able to wrap around them, and he's already secured 1 kill at Seeking there. He's spotted Kami as well behind the cover. Whitex, though, in this ninja spot, gets 1 kill, but he's not able to secure anything additional to that. Bit of a sneaky flank there through apartments, not going to do much, and it's all up to Jing. Well, he's going to really be able to do much. He might be able to get an exit frag, but that's about it. Invictus, yeah, they add another round to the board.
Yeah, now it's just a good anti-eco play for them. Making sure they clear mid, they quickly force pressure onto B site through both entrances, able to get full control. As well, going through mid as well, and through Cat, it just gives them the opportunity to actually flank out that ninja player. Sets them up for a really clean round. I mean, they do lose 2 players, but they keep up the majority. Their economy slowly starting to get back onto the roll here, but also just do see Chalfa. He's stuck at $200, so bit of a issue for him. Meanwhile, for WnV, well, their economy not looking too flash right now. If they lose this, more than likely onto another at least pistol armor round. Maybe a few SMGs if they're lucky enough. But yeah, for Invictus, this is looking pretty darn good for him here. 1 more round should, at the very least, give him a good shot at 8. And with a minute at 20 left on the clock, they're actually slowing things down here, taking the time in mid, making sure that all opportunities are clear. That's a very, very easy shot for Beaton King there. As Sean King will be able to trade out the fellow King. Might be able to find second as well, as Chalfa gets completely deleted there by Jing. Let him know. He's able to do a lot of work, but Jing doing it more for himself. Picks up a double so far and forces IG into the 3v2. Getting very, very close for him here, as it looks like they are going to be going towards B. Probably not the best of calls right now. White just waiting on top of bench. And he's actually has a very good line there, straight onto the cinder blocks. Able to take down one. Should be able to take down flying as well. As WnV, they're on the precipice of a third, and they will not pick it up just yet. Flying continues on his rampage. He is getting a 50 nades being flown at him, and he will eventually be finished off with a P250.
Yeah, they heard the scope from Market, I believe, and that indicated there was at least one of them there, and as soon as he saw he was boosted up, that pretty much gave away the entire game. But Flying still able to do a little bit of damage on the way out, keeps WnV's buys not as good as they would like them to be, but Invictus, well, yeah, they've built up the momentum. They're going to be all right. WnV, however, they stave off this this complete loss of the half, so things I think are still viable for them, very much so. In fact, Invictus, at this point, I think they're just trying to wait for WnV to make some kind of mistake. They've definitely slowed down again, and
yeah,
they seem to be more comfortable with that, with Kami taking out Flying in the apartments.
Yeah, but the problem is that bomb's in a precarious spot. If White decides to push, then that bomb could be gone for their grasp. But Bloodham is able to find the frag onto Jin. Koshak will actually make the rotation over here and pick up the C4. But look at this spot here for NVXE. He's in a glorious spot right now. Already takes down Joel for not having the best of games. Bomb has been, or is being rotated over. But they are now having a numerical disadvantage on both sides here. As soon as that smoke goes away, he's able to find one here. So he does tie things back up to 3v3. Sean King going for the flank. Meanwhile, Vladimir gets a second. Bomb should be being planted. Now he finds himself a third with the AWP. But now they have to be careful behind here. Sean King could go through either Tetris or Palace. Decides for a Palace approach here. Koshak is in a good spot to be safe from that line, though. Look where his teammate is. Aladdin will get caught out. Now into a 1v1. Sean King has to be quick here. Flash goes out. He needs to know exactly where Kochak is. He goes for unders. Still can't see him behind Nubox. He has to do something soon. He goes for the smoke, but he's been spotted out. He'll be easily taken down. And Invictus find their way onto 7. And
very, very quick approach there from WnV. They wanted to be able to, of course, try and salvage that, and they knew they would have had to have saved anyways. So it's not necessarily the worst call, especially when you're trying to pretty much pull the handbrake on an Invictus as much as you can. So very close, but unfortunately no cigar, and that's left WnV with a fairly mixed buy here in the case of Kami and XE pretty much nothing. And with oh, never mind, YX is still going to get something for himself. But Vadim with the MAC-10, he's with 2 kills, he's made a fair bit of bank there. So yeah, with nothing really left to do, with a B side taken and 4 T's still left alive, Kami and Jing really just want to get themselves a gun. I think that's the most they can really hope for.
There is a gun available, but they won't be able to get it as Chalfa and Vladim with a nice eco or anti-eco 3k for him now. Means he'll pick up $1,800 and his economy is looking good. Not for the rest of the round or the rest of the half just yet, but one more win for Invictus. That should be enough for him and most of his teammates. Speaking of Invictus though, have been able to pick up the half at the very least off that. And that's what you want to see from on T-side on their map pick. You want to be seeing him get into a good spot. Ideally, you want to see him even get double digits, which they seem to be well on their way to doing. As WnV, I mean, they're doing pretty well so far, but they have been caught out. And a few cheeky picks like that from Kimmy, you can't really be doing that, especially when there's 2 players in mid, where you'll be easily punished for it. Chalfa as well, taking down Sean King. Just like that, WnV in a very precarious position here. 5v3 and a 2v2 on the A side. NVXE is able to find 1 at the very least, but the bomb still over towards back apartments, so IG still have many opportunities to go for, but Aladdin still on the MAC-10. He actually makes his way onto the B side. He has secured it single-handedly, and just like that, WnV should be losing their 9th round here on the 12th. This is not looking too good for him now. There's only the AWP up. And NVXE, he's being hunted down. So if you can save it, that will be some sort of good news for him here. He will go for the peak. Flash will come out. He is blinded. And he will face the firing squad as Vladim takes him down.
Yeah, not an enviable position to actually be in there, with the fact that, flying is pretty much just wasting his time over a day, and number 2 is a flash peek from market, and knowing that the AWP could very well re-peek, just set the firing squad, as you say, in motion. They have it in place there, and that means that nothing will be saved and taken onto this next round. WnV, well, this is starting to get a little bit out of control for them.
Yeah, just a little bit here. That falls onto another eco just to make sure they have some sort of economy for the final 2 rounds of the half. We're also going to get punished for it here. Jason King able to find a few frags there. Kochak should also be able to add to his tally as well. And yeah, for WnV, they're starting to get into a really tricky spot here. I mean, if they lose the rest of the half, that's a 12-3 position. Obviously, they still have another round to work with than the 13, or the dreaded 13-2, but yeah, not looking good for him at all here on Mirage. But remember, they did pick Vertigo here, so maybe they've concocted something special on the newly added map, but now at the very least, Mirage, yeah, it's just not looking too good for him.
No, and I think if you're a WnV, perhaps you got to be thinking to yourself, okay, well, it's their pick. I'm not necessarily going to be able to take too much away from them, but, you know, they've gotten a couple of wins. In fact, with the AWP there, Jing actually doing quite a bit of damage. He takes out 2. I mean, 4 to 11 is not a bad half. They got 5 to 10, and that's, you know, quite good indeed, but, Flash coming
really?
in. Yeah, I mean, XE there, managed to score himself a kill, but Flying's there to trade it out. 2 versus 3 situation. Chavala is basically locked out of connector, Flying only with 1 health. Now this is not good for Chavala, but he could spray through the box there. He might potentially be able to get himself a kill. Oh.
Nah, he's not getting it. Ooh.
A little bit of damage, but I mean, as soon as they try to shoot through that, okay, well,
what the hell happened?
I just think that Chavala did not have the lineup. He did not know necessarily where to take those shots.
I meant before.
Oh.
They had the numbers advantage, and then suddenly they're in a bloody 2v1.
Yeah.
4v3 to 2v1. Sir, what the hell happened? That is disastrous for IG here. I mean, they still got the half, and they still got a pretty good lead, but that could have been so much better as we enter the final round of the first half. Koshak able to take down Jing to kick things off, and yeah, that's something to put on the replay reel for us in the game, because you shouldn't be losing rounds like that, especially when they can give you a massive advantage as Flying. Nice little shot there on to Kimi. Should be able to find one more from round O'Connor as well. And saying that NVXE is able to find one. Flying. He gets his second. Now 4v2 into a 4v1. They should not be losing this round in the half. We'll end 11-4 in the favor of IG.
Yes, and, well, as WnV move across the T side, that does perhaps give them a little bit more of a chance to control the momentum of it, but of the map. But at this point in time, it's a long way back. I think they might potentially just want to get things moved across to Vertigo. We'll have to see.
We just have to wait and see, as he said, because yeah, I mean, if you choose Vertigo, especially in Asia, you must have something ready on the line for your opponents, as we're already back on the second half here. It's going to be WnV on to the T side. This pistol round well, it is still decently important, but it's not going to be as important as if it would have been on a Bolt 3 or what would have been particularly disastrous from 13-2. They did lose that. Looks like they are going to be going for the train approach through Palace here to see Kim, or yeah, Kimmy, sorry, going for a bit of use.
And yeah, this pistol is showing more of what WnV's. Yep. Sorry about the difficulties there. We are back, sorry. Okay, so yeah, WnV's showing another fairly confident pistol round. This could be a bit of an uplifting moment, just try and carry them a bit further in this first map of the best of 3 series. Now, that does afford them the chance to afford some guns. 3 MAC-10s, to be precise, so I think they're looking to pretty much invest in their futures wisely, try and make a fair bit of bank there. Some bucks, some dollaroos. And Invictus, they only have USBs and a P250 to really try and stop that. Never mind. That is more than enough, it seems, and...
Oh my god.
Oh no. Flying. That was just perhaps a little bit cruel, and they're getting all these guns now. Well,
I'll tell you what happened there, Jeez. They thought, okay, we are going to rush through apartments, and they will not be able to stop us because they won't have bought a single thing. IG have gone, you know what? We're just going to buy a few nades. We're just going to keep the USPs because we know how to shoot at your heads, and we will be able to do it proficiently. Look what's happened. They immediately find 1 kill with nades and takes another player down half health. And then after that, they get the firing squad out. They are just peppering with bullets around the head. It works out perfectly for them. And they pull off an upset in the second round. That was a beautiful masterclass there from IG of how to prepare yourself and execute a beautiful eco in the second round. And now they are taking this to the bank because they are wiping out WnV. Only Jing left standing here on their own eco. And Invictus Gaming will be on 13-5 momentarily. Jing does find 1 kill for himself, but he does have bomb control. And once again, IG, they are just waiting for him over at apartments. This is bad news here for WnV.
Yeah, Jing knows that it's up, so he's going to toss the AK over the side there, which is a small victory, but perhaps worth it because Chafala's not going to be able to trade up that Mac 10. So it's the little things, right?
Yeah, little things that matter.
Well, WnV have to work with the money they've got. They will be forcing up in this case. It looks like perhaps they don't necessarily want to try and force for overtime, and oh no. That is... It's a classic. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the map from where WnV are. It's over a B. They're going to be seemingly setting up for A. This is a classic A execute. This is A smokes, run out, boys. That's it.
Go fast, go fast, go fast is what WnV have to do here. Koshak waiting at firebox here. It's Cheesing King already takes down one, finds himself a second. The AW3 as well. Could be able to find a third. He is well on for the ace here. Let's see if we can find a few more, but will be taken down. NVXE though, through the smoke, able to spam down everyone on the A site, and now it's all up to the Dak of flying. 1v2, making his way through jungle here. This is going to be a very close round for him here. He spots out one. They now know it's a Dak. Tries to tap through the boxes, but just mixes the head there. I'm trying to slowly run away here. He does have a kit to work with. Still has his USP out. I'll just pull out the Dak, mate. Just go for broke. He spots out flying once again, but the crossfire's up. Flying in such a very tricky spot. Nearly catches NVXE out of position, but he's able to quickly swap back over to Galil, and WnV somehow pick up their 6.
There's perhaps something to be said about hubris here. That is the hubris of buying a DAC, because flying's down to about $1,400. Yeah, I mean, he really could have. He could have, but...
Look, this is my philosophy. If you get a DAC out, you go for it. You never pull out your pistol. Instead, you throw that pistol over the wall immediately as you buy it, and you go, you know what? I believe I can easily take you down with the main weapon. I will be doing it, and I will be doing it well. WnV, however, they are just farming him up with Mac 10s. They said, you're going to disrespect us? You're going to disrespect us? We are going to take you down and bring you back to your original size, because they are starting to slowly come up here. Not surprising on Rush T site. This is what you're expected to do, but yeah, WnV, they have said it to the IG, stop with your tomfoolery and come back and play normal Counter-Strike.
Well, I mean, at this point, WnV, even if IG wanted to basically just still get these kills, even if they're just kind of having these fun rounds, these throwaway rounds, they're not necessarily doing the damage they need to do, even from that perspective. I mean, that is another AWP down. That is pretty much all of IG on about $2,000, thereabouts. So this is potentially a bit risky. It's risky because, yeah, I mean, all things considered, it's a little bit of a window back in, isn't it? I mean, this is still laying the groundwork to actually come back and perhaps make this a lot closer than a lot of people otherwise thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean, IG obviously 2-0ing Tyloo. That is a statement within itself, but moving to WnV, now that's another statement in its entirety, and that's not the statement you want to see, my friend, because, yeah, I mean, in my opinion at the very least, defeating Tyloo cleanly 2-0, then losing to WnV, like, how the hell are you supposed to gauge that? Tell me, how the hell are you supposed to gauge it as? This is obviously an eco round. This should be easy for WnV, especially when they've already got the opening at 2. We're going to see Lawmo come out here for Kimmy, able to find 2 before he is taken down and flying, hoping for a gun, but unfortunately his hopes and prayers will probably go unanswered. So WnV, they pick up their 8. They're only 5 rounds back now. They're slowly coming in, as you said, Jeeves, but they still got a very long way to go.
Oh yeah, I mean, as far as they're concerned, though, they got a heck of a lot more money now. So I think they're not gonna have to worry about it for a while. I mean, they've the only way that they can have their economy broken is if they're on effectively match point for Invictus. And that means that they don't have to really make too many concessions. They can pretty much throw everything they want to, and it looks like they'll do that. That everything will be directed at B. It was a risky play for them before. Jeans, he's hungry for some kills, and he will get them as they just try to come down onto him. Unfortunately, appetite is suppressed by the lack of bullets flying. And Koshak, well, that's alright. They've still got quite the hunger. And that's it. Well, Exy had the AWP, but an AWP, or solo AWP, taking of B, you don't really see it happen too often. By which I mean, practically never.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason why I don't really see AWPs over towards the B side and the T side, and that is, you've effectively got 2 lines, and they are easily coverable from multiple lines, so... I mean, if you want to go for it, and if your name is Simple or 2017 Cold Zero, go for it. I recommend you do. But yeah, probably not the best of calls here from WnV to send the big green gun over towards the B side as Koshak is farming up over towards B. This is turning into a bit of a disaster for WnV. NVXE is last player left standing here in 1v3. Able to find one so far. Does have bomb control as well, so might be able to get the plan and get a few extra dollars into his team's bank account. But he's not planning it just yet. We'll just play with the devil, so to speak. Down to a 1v2. This is actually possible for him. Nearly wins the round, but Vladim eventually able to trade his whole team effectively as Invictus finally get onto map point.
Yeah, and that is going to be at least a little bit of a relief for Invictus. It was starting to slip away from them a little bit, but having that match point is going to take the pressure just that a little bit off. As far as WnV is concerned, however, it is make it or break it. They will buy in as much as they possibly can. Kami only down to a CZ, but if you can get Sea King's rifle there, then might be able to do something. Koshak and Shvala, though, they want to basically try and... Oh, no! Oh, no!
How does he not... Well, this is still a good play. It's still a good play from Shvala. He catches him out, forces him to go into a last fist rush. He still gets 2 kills from it. This is... He might have whiffed the original, but that actually sort of works into his favor because the mindset of WnV is like, okay, he's whiffed, he's probably not on target, but... They immediately go straight into the site. They lose 2 players and they have gone, crap, they've misread that completely. You're now on a 4v2. They've gone for desperation. Desperation has not worked out for him. And IG, they've all but secured themselves at map 1, 16-8 at this point. Just need to find 2 more frags. And NVXE and Jing, now the last man left standing, wants to try and deny him of that opportunity. Although 1v4... We've seen it go into 1v1 by a different player on his team last round, but I don't think Jing can do it for himself this time around. Vladimir should have a very clear line. He easily takes the shot, and Invictus picks up map 1 in this best-of-3 series.
Yes, and that is the expected conclusion of this first map, but WnV showing some...
Showing some life, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, they definitely showed up, that's for sure. And when we go into their next map of Vertigo, they might be able to pretty much turn the tables on Invictus Gaming. Now, as for myself, Jevons, and my co-caster Chris, I think we're going to be hopping to a quick break whilst we wait for them to hop into the next map. So please stay tuned, we'll be back. Hello and welcome back to the second map of this best 3 series between Invictus Gaming and WnV. You're joined by myself, Jevons, and my co-caster, Chris, and we are already into it on the pistol round on Vertigo. Seems like A is going to be the pick.
Yeah, already onto Vertigo here. They're going to be making their way over through long ramp on to the A side. Qualifier already taking up a hell heap of damage here. Look at this. Easing just coming through the background. Already able to find one to fork. Can he find a second though? Oh, look at this. Exy just popping off right now. He finds himself a double. He's able to take down flying as well. Bomb has been planted, however. So this is still a good opportunity here for IG, but doesn't look that good for him right now. They're currently stuck at blue boxes. They can't do too much else. Ladim eventually just going to be worn down like a rock over thousands of years. Cossack, last player left standing. And he's not going to be winning this 1v3. No way in the world. He is retreating, and WnV, they pick up the first round.
Yeah, worn down over thousands of years, you say. Eroded by the confidence of WnV's pistol round on their map pick. So, yeah. Oh, no. We just got that in. Actually, did take out Koshak. That is, it's the cherry on top, I think. That was, that is a very confident WnV. That is, I mean, we saw them have that, nice, calm, controlled approach on Mirage, but, here, this is their playground.
Definitely feels like it so far, at least. And I mean, this is why they picked him out. They thought, like, you guys probably haven't really played this map before, and we're just gonna come in and completely make you want to ban Vertigo for the next 3 months. So, if WnV can do that, they'll be more than happy with themselves as they move on to Dust 2, which is our decider if we do need it. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens here. As this is going to be a fairly slow round for WnV. Sort of reminds you of old Cobble, where you used to just take your time going onto the sites and you literally rush out with 20 seconds to go and hope to God no one takes you down a drop and you lose the bomb, and that's the round. Anyways, Fala does go for a peek. Well, he is able to find a little bit of damage over towards Fold, but as a push starts to come through, this is actually really looking good for IG. They find themselves 2. They force them into a 4v3, but the B side has been left completely open here. No one in danger there for WnV. They are going to get the bomb down, and a bit of an overcommit here from the CT side. He's just trying to find something. Flying is able to take down Widex. He's in a good spot to find a second as well. G-Sing Ping will be taken down by G-King at the very least. Ladim, though, they'll get the final kill of the round, and a very hectic retake there from IG will mean they tie things up at 1-1.
Yeah, I'm getting deja vu. This is...
You've been here in this place before?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Mirage. It's if it's gonna be more of this kind of back and forth, where both teams seemingly able to take these decent swipes at the other side on their home turf, then Invictus might be able to secure it here, just for the fact that they, as a team, are a bit more experienced. They have the additional firepower, but WnV, they don't want to let that slow them down as they run onto this B side, flying though.
This is too easy.
Yeah, I mean, they're just pretty much going to chew them to pieces here. Seeking is running out of cover, and that's the bomb dropped. Kami is all the way on the other side. Wow. It's rotating through, but Koshak is not really concerned about that. And a fairly clean victory there for Invictus, which means they'll be able to, yeah, solidify their position a bit more. I think that's going to be quite important for them if they're not super comfortable on this map. Any advantage they can get is, of course, a good one, and WnV are already back at it. They have a couple of Galils, and AK, as Kami just demonstrated, really just shredding through this A-side defense. It's only up to, well, it's now Vadim and Jinsu actually able to get some kind of payback.
Yep.
It really changes the pace of this one. They're still got to go for it. Oh, excellent flick from Vadim, yes.
That was just disgusting from him here, as we do see the bomb being planted at the very least. Aladdin has made his way over towards the back box and somehow survives as Flying takes down Jing on over on Fold. He finds himself a second as well, and that will be the third for IG. And yeah, this is... I'll be honest, haven't really seen a lot of Vertigo in my time. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see what happens here. If I remember correctly, this is a heavily CT-sided map.
Fast rotates, so yeah, it does kind of help them. And in fact, you can almost actually see Pelshak there trying out that position that they just caught out WnV on last round. I want to see exactly how it worked for that plant. So they're seemingly paying fairly close attention to what WnV is doing, and actually learning as they're playing, if you believe it.
Chuff. That was there from Chuff. He's able to just quickly wipe out most of the aggression there over towards Bomb. You do see Egan trying to do something, but Vladim comes in, takes down his comrade, and yeah, this is a disaster for WnV so far, but as I said, they've got plenty of time. They probably have a bag of tricks up their sleeves for the T side. So it's gonna be a bit of a wait and see for what WnV do so far, but so far Invictus looking like they've picked up exactly where they left off on Mirage. They are acting quite dominantly here. This time around, no Dak, so that's good to see. And, well, if this continues on, especially in the second half, and WnV can't really retaliate, then it's bad news bear. I'm going to be knocking on their doors very, very shortly as Douchey seeking, and everyone actually being taken down so quickly here. Vladin with the early double with the AWP. And just like that, a 5v2. WnV wondering where the hell did all my teammates go?
Yeah, and they're not letting up the pressure either. They do wipe out 3 players on A ramp. They pretty much just want to follow it up with actually pushing that position. So WnV are going to be feeling perhaps a little bit claustrophobic, especially Whitex. Most of that damage was from the P250, just through that small gap there. So that's got to be, it's got to sting at least a little bit. That's WnV. Do they want to force up here? They've got the money for it. I think, yeah, the Desert Eagles coming up. That's a bit more of a conservative approach, which I'm not entirely certain about. I mean, some of their best wins they got from Mirage were actually from those fairly gutsy pushes with pistols, and can't necessarily do that with Desert Eagles. Not as much.
Yeah, not at all. Really, as well, this is going to be very interesting round, to say the very least. I mean, the Eagles can be very, very strong at times, and we do see 2 frags for NVXE so far, but he will be eventually taken down. Now 3v3 here. Bomb rotating over towards the B side. It will be a split push. Whitex coming through. Oh, excuse me. Like my throat might be giving up a little bit here. Not good to see. He'll be coming through stairs while his teammates come through, I believe.
Yeah,
Generator. That's right. That's the call out. And this is looking pretty good for him as well. They should be able to sink the bomb past. They can take down Flying. Flying does have a little bit of a whiff, but he's able to quickly find one. Fake comes through. Wouldn't be enough, though. He finds himself a nice little double. Invictus 6-1.
Actually, it was the grenade that came in. Just stole the kill right at the end there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'd see it honestly for Flying. I thought that was odd seeing the double instead of the 3K, but, you know.
Well, I think Invictus, they're finding their footing, which is, I guess, encouraging for them, because you can see them at a few points, actually, just making sure they don't fall off the side of the building. And this is a very just run-and-gun approach to B from IG, and it might be the way they actually try and take a site. In fact, they've already got control of it. The rotates have come in, and Jing excellently positioned to try and stop this rotate coming in. Whitex there to support him as well. And Invictus have finally been properly locked out of one of these sites. And
that's safe.
Well, yeah, Jing's got to run away. He's got to keep the AWP alive, because all things considered, they can keep the money alive, unlike Jing. But anything you could do to perhaps stop WnV from getting the money from your death is perhaps a good thing. And Kami caught out there interestingly, he's holding the angle. That's no matter. Seeking and Co are there to pretty much make sure that he's quickly avenged.
Yeah, we'll be avenged eventually. WnV. That play effectively came from no one being at window and them taking down flying by wrapping around big and quickly taking him down. They did that to a T, no one else on the B side, so from that point on, it was effectively free real estate, and yeah, they pick up the second because of it. But in saying that, though, they did lose 2 kills to the post plant. That means their economy now in a bit of a shaky spot if they do lose the next round. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what their economy looked like afterwards. They should have enough to get another buy through. Oh, they should easily have enough.
Yeah, and
they
they've saved up quite a bit. Between flying and Beijing, they'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely will be, as we do see a bit of a later push onto the B side here. We do see flying more closer to the back box here than to big this time around, and he's doing all work. Already into a 4v2, 4v1's all up to Kimmy. But he is stuck at stairs. He's going to try and hope that he can find something near T-spawn, but won't be able to. Vladim takes him down with the AWP, and Invictus Gaming have all but secured themselves half here. WnV will get a mixed buyout, you would think, unless White drops for Jing or Kimmy. But yeah, Invictus, strong so far on the CT side.
Yeah, I think forcing up is going to be the right goal for them here, just to try and keep up some kind of pressure. Although, interesting to note that WnV were fairly... They had all the players, they had the utility up onto this A side as well. They had seemingly the same sort of ingredients that allowed them to take that round before, and yeah, Invictus seemingly completely calm in the midst of this utility. Very much so, considering the fact that they tried this fast push onto B again, and it was just completely devoured.
Yeah, and the thing I liked from IG there is they didn't have anyone at big. They actually had everyone play back a little bit. They got that opening frag. They knew exactly what's happening, because if you do send one to B, or so far in this game at the very least, everyone else should be following. So immediately went for the quick rotate. Everyone was quickly looking at the side, and it became a bit of a funnel for WnV at the end. They couldn't do too much else, and they just got butchered as IG. They also laid here. This is going to be a very critical native from piecing. No, he whiffs it. That could have been a frag, but no, he unfortunately whiffs, and this gives WnV an opportunity into a 3v3, make that a 3v2 or 2v2. NVXC doing a fair bit of damage along with Seeking. And now lots of Seeking, 1v2, but flying. He has been strong in this series. He finds himself another double and IG onto 9.
Yeah, throughout the event, actually, I believe Flying's been quite good. He's a fairly youngish talent. For the side of Invictus, most of the guys are early mid-20s. Yeah, he's 17 or 18, I believe. So, yeah, he seems to be the young firepower of the squad.
It seems like it here as well. This is interesting. Going up ladder, NVXE here as Vladim. Well, he peeks off the line just at the worst possible moment. Chalfa, though, able to take him down. G-Sync very lucky to be alive there, as WnV are in a very tricky spot, as you would expect with Vertigo T-side. They're just getting butchered. They're not really being able to find any opportunities to break through the gaps, and yeah, this shows on the board now 10-2. They sort of want to pick up at least one more round to give them that pistol round buffer. But if they can't find that, then it's not going to be looking too good for them if they do lose the CT pistol.
So, one thing kind of haven't touched on yet is the fact that it's 10-2 on their map pick, and they haven't taken a time out yet, but we can get to that point later. As with that first kill, got not too much of a shift here from Invictus. They're still stacking towards B, though now, when I mentioned that, Flying is actually moving back through mid. WnV, I'm not entirely certain if they're actually looking to set something up here. They're actually just very, very cautiously trying to approach up on A, and I think with the Molotov going out there, this might potentially be given up. Seeking, though, pops a bit of damage Flying's way through the plyboard. Doing some good work with that. A minute left. They don't necessarily have to commit to this, but I have a feeling they will. Especially after XE there manages to get himself a kill onto Trafala. Yes.
This is turning out to be a very critical round here with WnV. They finally get the bomb down. They do have a chance here. They do have many low plays to take down, but Koshak at high, able to do a fair bit of work. VXE though will finally take him down. This man has already done a lot of work here. He's on for the ace. If he can clear out the final two, both have AWPs. He takes down one into the 1v1. It's all up to Vladim to try and hold out. NVXE going wide, takes him down, and that is a beautiful 1v5 there from NVXE. And I mean, especially with the final two players being on AWPs, it makes his life so much easier, but still, he doesn't get forced into an unwinnable 2v1. He takes the 1v1s, he baits out the lines, and that is just a beautiful piece of mind play there from the WnV player.
Yeah, and to be honest, if I'm on WnV, that might just fire me up after a bit of a beatdown there, so this could be exactly what they need. Can they follow it up, however? Oh, XE's not really willing to stop anytime soon, it seems. He takes out Trafala with a fairly crisp headshot there. Insking, though, and Vadim, they are very confident, and Koshak is as well. They'll be able to slowly and still pick apart this WnV lineup. 2 versus 4. Minute 20 left. They've got options. They've got a bit of utility. They've got to try and make themselves a bit of an opening into the rest of this round, however. Bomb is at forklift. They don't have control of it. This gives IG the advantage. They know that they'll have to come to them eventually. Your WnV, not entirely certain exactly what you do here. You hunt for kills, maybe. You've got the time, but you potentially going to be put in a very precarious position as the timer runs down.
And plus, there's only 2 real ways to get that bomb as well. One of it is through the smoke, which is going to be falling through the building right now, as NVXE is able to find a bit of damage onto Beijing. Down to a 2v3. Definitely doable for WnV. We saw the 1v many last round. And that player is still alive here. He's got 5 concurrently here between his deaths. Shaklo trying to make an end to that, along with Aladdin. That's a beautiful flick to shut him down. And White, well, he can't do too much else with his teammate down. Invictus go up to 11.
Yeah, that was too strong a position that IG had there around Fork. As soon as they knew where both players were, they could only just pretty much repair that a little bit more. A little bit of utility towards that last 20 seconds pretty much meant that WnV had to try and go for those kills, push through it.
This is big rush.
Oh, it is 3 umps, AK, and AWP. What are we going to be able to do? Oh.
You thought it would have been a B rush the way it was setting up with the up 5, but they decided against it. They actually played patiently, which is interesting to see, and it's going to work out from here. Kosh will find one for his second down, but the trade will mean it's a 3v3. But yeah, that was interesting for WnV. It looks like they were trying to bait out the aggressive response for an imminent push, but they were able to wait out. They do find 2 frags. They do find an AWP as well. So that actually works out for him quite nicely. The rush now starts to come out here. This is going to be very important for Chalfa to try and do something here from back. Just has to wait for people to come through. Easily clotheslines White there. Can he find a second? No. NVXE, patient with the shoulder peek. Takes him down, has the orb. Can do a lot of work with it here. And now he's just waiting at the back as well. Oh, that's a beautiful shot onto flying. And Vladim, 1v2, needs a miracle here. Takes down his opponent AWPer. And now, up against his opponent AWPer. I got the positions mixed up, but it doesn't matter. NVXE, he is flying for WnV this half at the very least, keeping his team in the fight. And with the half coming through, it's Invictus in the lead, 11-4.
Yes, and as we move into the second half here, WnV down quite a bit on their pick, the second map of the series. It's a good time to mention that the pressure, the benefits of winning this one is pretty much getting yourself that spot in the closed qualifier. So Invictus probably very keen for it. It's an excellent stepping point for them to move up to that next level. WnV, this would be huge if they could bring it back. I think the pressure is going to be weighing on their minds just ever so much more than it would be on Invictus's.
Yeah, this is going to be well, as I said in Mirage, it's not as crucial as it would have been in a 12-3 or 13-2, especially more so on Vertigo, where the bias is a lot more sided over towards CT. But yeah, this is going to be important here for WnV. If they don't pick this up, they effectively allow Invictus to possibly get them up to 13 very, very quickly, and that's not what you want to be in, especially when you're trying to close out a 9-round deficit here. Koshak with the opening frag of the half, as is a teammate. Will slowly start to push up through here. Actually, just waiting for a peek through generator. Nothing will come through as Kimmy pops Sharfa out of the server for now. Smokes will come through very shortly here. This is something that we didn't really see from WnV on their T side. They just pushed blind for most of it. No util to speak of. As we do see Piecing able to find all one. 2 for 1 now on the B side. Jing and Kimmy though doing a lot of work. Forces Kimmy into a 1v2. They are just spamming, hoping to get something through the smoke. Won't be able to just now, but they have the strong positions flying. Needs a miracle here to try and pick up the 12 for his team. But Kimmy will deny as WnV go to 5.
Yeah, and that was looking a little bit risky there, as Invictus got themselves a very early kill in that round. I mean, they slowed down pretty much entirely after that point. They wanted to just perform and execute. I think there was just a bit too much time spent actually getting all the smokes and Molotovs set up there, some of which I think actually missed their mark, so it wasn't necessarily ideal conditions that they were running into.
Oh!
That was a little bit crisp.
That was dirty, is what that was. Piecing, that was just a beautiful deagle shot for him there. Merely opens up the one-man advantage here by WnV, still with all the advantages due to angles. Now they're going to be taking their time here. They find another frag. Koshak through the box will mean it's a 5v2, and I think we're seeing a pattern emerging here because it's another second round loss to the team that won the pistol. Cossack will eventually be able to take down Seeking. Just like that. VXE can't get the 1v5 this time around. And Invictus move on to 12.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much a deathmatch by the end of it. Flying, just rounding the corner there. Was it? Sorry, I think it was Jinsking. Round the corner, pretty much the FAMAS, not even stopping, just taking the head clean off. So, if you're WnV, you're probably not feeling the greatest of the moments. And this is what I kind of wanted to highlight before. These are the kind of moments, in fact, well before, that you'd want to use those timeouts, because that gives you a chance to actually talk about what's going on in the game, even just give yourself a bit of a breather, a bit of mental space there to kind of bring yourself back into it. And neither side's really used it. I can understand why Invictus doesn't necessarily need to. They've been fairly in control, but WnV, you have to use them. I mean,
yeah,
that's what's the worst that happens, right?
Yeah, the worst that happens is 30 seconds gone from your life. That's not much of a bad price to pay when you're playing what is a crucial game, Counter-Strike, and you just need to have a breather. As we do see IG setting up once again for a replay here. WnV though have been able to set up this time around. NVXE able to find one frag with Vladin waiting for the aggro peak. Is able to find the trade as Koshak is able to bring this in to a 4v2. Nice little double for him now. Invictus looking at dead set on the mark for a 14th round. I think 2 away from Qualifier to the close. Qualifier bomb will eventually be picked up from flying. Check the toilet, just make sure no one is hiding in there. Or he makes his way over towards stairs and eventually on towards the B side. Just looking pretty dry for WnV here. I mean, they've had the angles, but they just haven't had the weapons over the past few rounds, and it shows they've just been outbid in firepower, and the Invictus aim has been so much stronger. As Kimmy was not expecting Vladimir to still be near generator. Jing is able to find himself a double here, but will eventually get flanked out by Beijing. Invictus 2 away from victory.
Yeah, I mean, that's a small consolation for Jing. It does pretty much give him a little bit more money to take into this round. Nets himself a lovely M4 for his troubles, but, well, it's not enough, and one round away from match point, a deficit of 10 rounds to even bring that to overtime. What do you really do?
Oh, that is dirty. That is absolutely dirty from IG and VXE. They're able to get the trade. As we're quickly onto a 4v4 here, and this is why CT can be very, very strong. Positionings that you're allowed on CT side are just so hard to get rid of, especially with an AWP against a rifle, even against the MT AWP, because you just don't know where to peek it as. What's that? He's able to find one, and Kimmy has actually, he hasn't rotated, sorry, he's still on the B side, able to get the AWP kill, 2 AWPs, and 1 M4 against 2 AKs, and that's it now. Make that only 1 because it's all up to Shvala. These angles just a bit too strong for the AWPs. And this should be WnV picking up a 6 here. Kimmy eventually goes to the aggro peak, picks himself up at 3 for the 5th round of the second half, and WnV are on to 6.
Yeah, I mean, they stave off that match point just that one extra time. They're left a little bit weakened here, but at the same time, Invictus is a little bit as well. And when I say that, I pretty much mean they don't buy that extra flash, maybe. So I think utility is perhaps going to be key this time if they want to try and slow them down and somehow ration it across the entire round time limit there. IG, they've slowed down again completely, and this could actually play a few tricks on WnV. However, they've pushed A ramp. They're down bottom towards Fork there, so they should hopefully be making this rotate onto B, because you'd think they would suspect something. Whitex, that Flash is able to get himself a kill. Additional smoke actually blocks Koshak's approach. That allows him to get 1 kill. Yeah, Kami down. A very long way down. And, I mean, WnV, they're still in control of this round, but it's flying. He's, as we mentioned earlier, he's been their strongest performer, so quite a potent threat still. 1 versus 3, 45 seconds left. I think he's got something to work with here. I think he can do something. We'll see.
And hopefully for his sake, he knows what West Coast Eagles are, because he needs to be flying high right now. Because in a 1v3, he's in a very, very tricky position. He needs to check back as well, because that's where White is, and that's where his immediate danger is as well. Takes him down. At the very least, he guarantees himself a bomb plant, but he's actually shot. That's going to force a rotation. He's going to be in all sorts of trouble. And, well, just like West Coast Eagles, not going to have any sort of luck this time around as WnV go to 7.
Yeah, actually winning that re-peak, which is big. It's a bit risky, but yeah, gets away with it, which is good. In fact, he's been doing quite well. He's, well, except for maybe Vadim, top fragger, which, given the score on the board and how a lot of this map has gone so far, that's a fairly impressive result still. So some players on WnV are basically consistently performing, and we're actually finally seeing a bit of an eco here from IG.
Strong. Yeah, an eco here, but this is like that shot there from Jing is exactly what I'm saying. CT side is very overpowered on Vertigo, and I mean, it's not as bad as old Nuke, which, if any of you knows, were famous for like coming back on 14-1. It was just that strong on the CT side. It's not as bad, but it's pretty darn close to it, effectively, as WnV trying to just take out the Aether and getting every single round back 1 by 1. Obviously, IG, they do have a fair bit of a buffer now. They know that they can just take a few ecos, rest easy, and make sure that they are prepared for a full gun buy, but yeah, not particularly encouraging right now when you're just being pegged from angles which are near impossible to counter. Anyways, they will try for a B-side play. Vladimir find a little bit of damage. White might get pressured out here, but the rotation's already starting to come through. MVXE just cutting off the generator approach. Will take down P-Sing, and White and Kimmy finishing off on the B-side.
Yeah, clean anti-eco like that is good for the spirits as well. It's good soul food for CSGO, I guess you could call it. It's with well, with that, I think Invictus understand that they've got that space to work with. They've still got 6 rounds here before they're matched even. So even if they don't take those mythical tacticals we were talking about before,
what is the tactical pause?
ancient times. Okay, it's
yeah.
If you're in China, apparently they don't exist.
No, we saw one on Mirage. They do exist.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That might have actually been a technical we're hearing,
Yeah.
so... never mind, they don't exist.
Nah, we'll just never been sure, you know? We're just not going to be sure if it was a technical or a tactical. I mean, our producer says one thing, but it felt like another thing, so we'll just leave that at unanswered. But anyways, Invictus taking their time here. I don't like Charter just jumping up because that's just going to give NVXE a kill and all the information he needs. 3 players now on the A side. Tasing, once again, risking his life there. But now we are slowly starting to see these slow peaks come through here. They just seem to be waiting on these massive hunks of flooring to try and make their peak. But it comes through, which actually benefits Invictus in this position. But now as the rest of the utility gets thrown out here, 1v1s all favoring WnV now. As it will be seeking to find himself a bit hesitant there on the second, but he finds himself that in the third. Just like that, flying on the eco. Can't do too much else. Picks up the AK and hopes for a miracle. Probably won't be getting it. Maybe a kill. If that. But WnV slowly coming back here as a knife is secured.
These approaches, interestingly, a lot of their peaks from Invictus have been kind of telegraphed almost... I don't want to say exclusively, but fairly oftenly by the shadow. So that's something that being a bit more wary of the map will actually teach you is where the shadows will actually appear. So yeah, unfortunate for Invictus, but quite good. Oh, Seeking, that was a nice shot, yeah. And I think he wants to go for it again, but he's eventually going to get pulled out of this position by nothing but good old-fashioned flames, fire. And Invictus, they have to try and capitalize on at least this one kill they've gotten, but I think that, yeah, they've just decided to slow down completely again, and this could be their undoing. WnV are just relying on those default positions. Stronger presence on A. Might be the right call here. Invictus still just hanging around. I think they want to figure out what they want to do. Koshak, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. He's dead. He's out of the round. Flying in Vidim, though. Can they make any of this work? 50
Maybe.
seconds. Maybe. They got time, yeah.
They can get A, but apart from that, doesn't look good for him here. Jing able to flick onto Vladimir, take him down, flying with the Deagle. I'm going to bring it into a 1v3, but he pulls out the smoke. Actually times that to perfection here. Baits out XE. Knows exactly where he is now. Would have heard that AWP shot. And now he can just slowly rotate around, try and get as many favorable 1v1s as he can. Takes down one, brings him to a 1v2. That spike should be dissipating very shortly. He only has 3 bullets. He needs to be as sharp as a sniper. Picks that up, and he's into a 1v1. Only 2 bullets, so he has to reload, surely. 11 seconds to go as well. He has to get the bomb down. X. Oh my god, White with the peak. That was dirty, dirty timing as Invictus almost win the 15th, but WnV go to double digits.
Oh wow, that's anxiety in a bag right there. That's 2 bullets left, or 3. Gets the first headshot, has 2 left. inside him screaming for him to reload, and then when he goes to the plant as well, he goes for a fairly safe position, except for that one angle. There's just that 1 or 2 seconds where he realizes that he's completely exposed. Ooh. Seeking wins duel against the AWP there. Xe also providing Overwatch. They would have actually seen, they should have seen Bomb on their map as well as a result of that kill. I don't think Vadim had actually dropped it. Jeans drops Jing though. Makes this a bit even again, even numbers, but of course that will usually benefit the T side, because they want to get those trades. They can pick exactly where they want to go.
Looks like we're deciding to go towards B here as well. Flying, still looking around on A, probably trying to just force a bit of pressure onto Seeking. Should be able to get the rotational kill as soon as they make their presence known on the other side. Oh no, he actually has a bomb. He might be looking for a they go towards B. NVXE, oh sorry, XE. We'll be able to find Chalfa. Rotation, still not coming through here, but Seeking, patient man, takes down Flying. And Seeking just will be eventually taken down there, and as I said, they just need to wait for CT side, and their master plan should have come to fruition, and it's looking just like it. They've picked up the past about 6-7 rounds on the trot.
Yeah, well, I mean, that second half is already eclipsed their first half in terms of rounds 1. Oh no, do IG pick up this momentum on effectively a force buy? Yeah, I mean...
Rotation's coming through though. This is going to be very, very tricky here. Especially with Xe, who has been very proficient from side, from this position. But look at this, the B side's completely open. And they've just realized we are going to be slowly seeing the rotate coming over. No, Chumba's actually... He's fallen straight into the loving arms of Kimmy, and Kimmy finds a double! Oh my god, Kimmy, that is just unbelievable for him there. And this is just falling apart for IG. Flying once again, last man left standing in a 1v3. Needs to try and but Xe won't be able to, and Kimmy with an unbelievable flank will allow WnV to go to 12.
Yeah, and this is a side of WnV that we definitely didn't see on Mirage. They are pretty much reaching deep into the well. That is their competitive fighting spirit there, just to try and keep this alive. And they've done an incredible job of it so far, holding Invictus away from this 2-0 victory that I'm sure they've just been really wanting to get. I don't know what they want to do on Dust 2, but it's, I think, about as even a map as you can even really get in this game.
It does seem like it nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the most even map in the game, really. But with that said, we are deep into the next round of Vertigo, and surprisingly, we don't have these early picks that we've seen before. Mid control is actually firmly in the hands of Invictus Gaming, and this could allow them to split WnV pretty much clean in two there, defense-wise, and in fact, rotate around them as Kami's just found out.
And this could actually be doable here for him. They're already into the 4v1. XE will get flanked out, and just like that, IG, they finally get the advantage. They finally get map position, and they are on match point. And, I mean, what the hell happened there? I mean, for 1 second it was 4v5, and just like that, 3v4. This is just, that was just a big Brian moment there, or big brain moment there from IG.
Big Brian, at it again.
Yeah, Big Brian. Yes, these are Brian's in the server right now, as IG on a 3-round lead match point here. A fair bit of early aggression over towards Generator, or actually Elevator, sorry. Bit too far away from Generator for that, but yeah, IG finally found something on the T side. They were very patient in mid. They got the opening frag. They find the opening frag once again. They're on to what? The B side looking very, very open right now. Piecing just waiting for an aggressive peek here from Seeking. Flying, though, has fallen in the meantime by the AWP of XZ. And now this B-site under contention once again, but Piecing's able to find one. Rotation surely gets called, and the bomb is finally on its way. Chalfa takes out Jing. 4v2 now. Kenny in a very, very tricky spot will be taken down, and just like that, IG have qualified for the closed qualifier of Greater China for IEM Beijing Haidan.
Yes, well played by WnV towards the end there. They were starting to really show us what they were made of, but unfortunately it was not enough, and IG will secure the series 2-0. We'll be seeing them later on in the closed qualifier, as you said, so that'll be exciting to see how they fare there.
Yep.
As they step up to that next level of Counter-Strike. In the meantime, though, I believe that is our last game. The others? Yep, that is it, I'm hearing. So, thank you for tuning in. I've been your caster.